So I was married for some time. And then after I got divorced around the age of 28. So I was with that person for 10 years since I was 18. So I'd never dated anyone else. I had really my whole life was just kind of following this person around and being a military wife and everything. And when that fell apart, I had no idea what the world was like. There were dating apps. There were everyone had spent their 20s dating and learning about themselves. And I skipped all that because I found a husband pretty early. So I thought I didn't have to do any of that. And I just started saying yes to everything, going on 7-8 dates a week. Wow.
I signed with the Sacramento Kings in 2009, which was a huge deal for me because I had an injury in college that they thought was career ending. So to be able to reach that dream that I had worked for since I was 5 years old was, it was just such a surreal moment. I remember walking into the locker room and seeing that NBA jersey with my name on the back and what that meant to me. But 33 days after signing my first NBA contract, a teammate fell into my left knee, tore the articular cartilage in my left knee. I had 2 microfracture surgeries and my career was over with just like that.
How has storytelling empowered you personally to reclaim and reshape parts of your journey?
What started out as something that was just fun because I was living kind of what I didn't realize was a silly life, but I was asking people like, oh, is this normal? Do people usually do this? And I just started storytelling and it turned into what is now a one-woman show about me reclaiming my own agency. And every time I do the show, it's a catharsis. I realized in storytelling over the years that I was letting everyone else have agency over what my life looked like.
At such a defining moment in my life where it was almost like this new life started when this other life ended. And it seems poetic now, like to look back and see the journey, but like in the moment, it was devastating. I was struggling with depression. I was struggling with identity crisis. I didn't know who I was outside of, being Lanny, the basketball player. That's who everybody knew me to be. That's who I knew myself to be. I thought that was the gift that God had given me in this world, was to be this basketball player who was going to be able to make it to the league and take care of my family.
I was following someone to Hawaii. I was going over here. I was just kind of saying yes to whatever. And then looking back, really disappointed that I wasn't driving my life. I felt like I wasn't claiming any agency. Now when I'm storytelling, it's just a reminder every day that this is my story.
Yeah.
And that telling it is something that I and only I have the power to do. It's very empowering to do storytelling.
Wow.
It was all those things. So dealing with that disappointment, dealing with the feelings of being a failure, that was a dark time for me. And by God's grace, one dream ended, but he's blessed me with several more, and I've been able.
Yeah. It led me to question a lot of things that I find myself in a lot of predicaments. I don't want to live like that. I want to put myself in predicaments that might be fun, but that was the biggest predicament I had ever found myself in. And it made me question what's driving my life. So the healing that came from that is so profound. It's lasting to this day.
Can we talk about Active Faith?
Of course. Yeah. So Active Faith was the first brand, the first thing that, I launched post injury. I feel like Active Faith saved my life in many ways. When I talk about that dark place that I was in, it was so dark that, these dreams are things that you can't have one foot in, one foot out. You have to completely throw yourself completely into it just to have the chance for that dream to happen, right?
What is driving your life?
Fun.
Today.
Fun. It's that simple. I decorate my house like it's a dopamine house. It's silly. I'm silly. I do whatever's clever. If I need to rest, I rest. What's driving my life is that every day just has to feel okay.
Yeah.
And that's really not extravagant, not these huge accomplishments, But did I make someone smile? I love making people smile. It's my favorite pastime. So that's what's driving my life, is the usual ambition and all of those things. But really, am I at peace with everything I've done today? If the answer is yes, then I've succeeded.
Wow.
So then doing that with basketball and with the NBA, and then having it end so abruptly, the fear of what do I do with the rest of my life? I thought this was the pinnacle. I thought this was that thing that I was blessed with, that I was going to do, and now it's gone. And that dangerous place of hopelessness, that dangerous place of fear of the unknown, just really put me in a bad place mentally. And active faith, I remember actually saying this prayer. Is actually the second microfracture, after the second microfracture surgery I had. I said this prayer and I said, God, you blessed me with this elite ability to do this. I thought this is what I was supposed to do. I said, but if this is being taken away from me, I'm begging you to show me what you want me to do with my life. I said the prayer just like that. I'm begging you to show me what you want me to do with my life. And whatever you show me, that's what I'll do. It was probably about 2 weeks after I said that prayer, this idea for active faith started kind of formulating in my mind. So my faith has been something that's always been important to me in my life. My mother raised me in that way. And even when I played basketball, I prayed before I stepped on the court every time. It was just something that I carried with me. So it's I got a chance to connect with other teammates and other athletes who felt that same way, that yes, I'm an athlete, I'm a basketball player, I'm a football player, whatever I am, but like this part of me that I carry with me, my faith, I carry this with me in my life. I carry this with me on the court, on the field, wherever I am. And I was like, there's nothing that really speaks to that person, right? You've got the Nikes and the Adidas of the world. And it's like, well, what speaks to this person whose faith is so strong, and then they're also an athlete and they love sports, and the convergence of these passions of my faith and of sports, that's where this idea for active faith came to be. And same thing, I spoke it. I told some people this is what I was going to do. They told me I was crazy. It's like a faith-based sports apparel brand. That doesn't make sense. There's no way that can work. But I felt so convicted by this new thing that I felt like God had placed in my heart, and launched this brand out of my mom's house. Yeah, so sometimes like when you get called crazy, it's almost like you're heading in the right
you're on the right
direction.
track. When
Yeah.
people start like giving
Yeah.
you that eye, you know that you're definitely on the right
For
track.
sure.